If a close friend of yours was telling you that they were thinking about homeschooling their child, what would you say? Would you think they were crazy or doing an injustice to their child? You'd be surprised by today's homeschooling. No longer is homeschooling an isolating experience that occurs at the kitchen table. Homeschooling can be a lot of different things. Homeschooling can be a situation where one parent collaborates with a group of families and teaches a group of students on one day, and then the other families take over for the rest of the day so that that family member can have a job outside the home and still be able to homeschool their children. Homeschooling can also be where a student takes a virtual class or virtual school online, and homeschooling can also be a situation where students are doing assessments through a homeschooling application.
Did you know the opportunity to educate your child is a right that every family has living in the United States? The Supreme Court supports a family's choice to educate your own child, but leaves states with the power to establish guidelines and requirements for homeschooling. Homeschooling laws fall into three categories. The first category is private school. In states such as California, Indiana, and Texas, homeschooling is treated like a private school, and all requirements for private schools are mandated for homeschools. The second category is state compulsory attendance statute. Homeschooling is not specifically referenced, but homeschooling is included in the parameters for compulsory attendance statute. States like New Jersey and Maryland do this. The third category is a state-specific law for homeschooling. States such as Maine, New Hampshire, and Iowa have laws for homeschooling. Although there are three categories, each state varies in their requirements, from no notification to home visits and submitting curriculum to the state. The types of requirements by state include submitting attendance records, approval of curriculum, demonstrating teacher qualifications, regular and unannounced visitations by the Department of Education and social workers, sending achievement and standardized test scores, professional evaluations, filing private school affidavits yearly, and minimum required work hours per week. Homeschooling has advanced thanks in part to resources available through the Internet. More and more parents are opting for distance education programs and virtual schools and the use of e-learning applications. Did you know that you can homeschool your child and have them receive a fully accredited education through the use of public virtual schools? Parents are now able to provide virtual field trips, video clips, and flash applications to their child's curriculum. Science labs can be viewed on YouTube or done using Java applets. Students can download videocasts and podcasts for mathematics, and parents can use assessment websites to create quizzes and tests. Early literacy can be done through online interactive books that test and assess comprehension while the book is being read to the child. Students can go back and review a word they do not know by running their mouse over the word and hearing the words spoken. Parents can also develop their own resources through web page applications, online assessment generators, course management systems such as Moodle and SCORM. Opportunities for learning that were before out of reach due to distance, money, time, and resources are now available in electronic form. Another area that has expanded is the opportunity for homeschooling through distance education. 41% of homeschooling parents utilize distance education and 15% utilize correspondence courses. Parents who do not have the confidence in their ability to teach their children can still provide a safe learning environment free of distraction through the use of distance education. Distance education provides families the flexibility to learn anywhere at any time. Homeschoolers who live in a state where the homeschool regulations are strict are able to utilize accredited virtual schools to avoid the bureaucratic paperwork involved in homeschooling, since the schools fall under the category of private school. Virtual schools are able to document system logins and calculate attendance hours to fulfill attendance requirements. The curriculum has been carefully planned by the virtual school, and parents can select virtual schools that have already aligned their curriculum to their state standards. Students may also have access to standardized examinations and assessments. By attending virtual schools, students fall into a different category of student and are no longer considered homeschool students, and they are not subject to the same requirements that homeschool students are subjected to. Virtual schools can be private, such as Virtual High School, K-12, and Class.com, but a number of states now provide virtual schools within their public school district so that the cost of attending a state-sponsored virtual school is free. But what about socialization, you say? The most frequent argument against homeschooling has been that homeschool students will be socially delayed due to the inability to socialize with other students. Distance education allows students to socialize in different ways through the internet. Although the style of socialization is different than through traditional schools, students come in contact with many more students than they would in a traditional school. Some virtual schools and distance education programs provide face-to-face opportunities for their students, such as conferences and local field trips. The socialization argument has lost momentum in recent years with the awareness of bullying, cyberbullying, and violence in public and private schools. Distance education has become a safe haven for students who are being bullied in schools. A parent's choice to homeschool their children can be a difficult choice filled with anxiety over documentation, reporting, assessment, and legalese. But e-learning and virtual schools facilitate a parent's right to educate their own children. In the past, it was difficult for homeschool students to gain acceptance to good colleges and university, but parents are now able to use standardized tests such as SAT 1 and 2, AP exams, and portfolios to apply to college. Virtual schools and homeschooling e-learning applications provide standardized assessments, record management, and transcripts for colleges and university admissions. Homeschoolers now attend over 900 different colleges and universities in the United States, including Dartmouth, Harvard, Stanford, Brown, Cornell, and Princeton.